Quit or demote, my toxic job's final straw. In the industry I work in, I was tossed into a position where I was going to be wearing a lot of hats. My boss has been relentless ever since he put me into a new role just 2 months after I was hired for a different one. It took him 8 months to provide me with a job description for this new role. This role was intended for him originally, but he said he needed someone else to take it on because he was already slammed. There was no structure at all, and he had no plans for it. He would leave out information or not include me in key meetings with executives or donors. If he made a mistake, he would say it was me that did it. If a plan he had failed, it was my fault. He made sure to make everyone believe that I was dramatic. Fast forward a year later, and I am very overwhelmed. I'm given impossible deadlines and workloads that have started to affect my mental health. My boss will ask me to do stuff out of work hours or to work overtime to prove that I am giving my all. I decline these things because to me, I work my 40 hours and that is it. After many people urged me to talk with my boss about the burnout I'm feeling, and him sending messages to my team asking us to approach him if we feel burnout, I did it. His response was to put down my entire team and that we are unmotivated and that I need to decide whether I can work harder because if not, I should find a different career or calling in life. He tried to paint it as him guiding me to help. He told me that I am working above my pay grade and that I should either accept a demotion, suck it up, and try harder, or give him a 6-month notice that I am quitting. He brought up how I might have something psychologically or mentally wrong with me and that I need to figure out what I want in life. Little does he know, the former college I used to lecture at has invited me to apply to a new position on the campus that pays almost more than double than my job pays me now, and it comes with many more benefits. I would also be working with people I loved working with before. I would be a part of a union. I am praying and hoping that I get this new position so I can give him a 1-day notice about my departure. Update 1. I had to block off my entire calendar to do this task today, but I am going to write the most obnoxious and highly detailed essay just to piss him off. In grad school, I was notorious for overwriting and taking my time to get to the point. Who knew that fun little skill would come in handy today? To answer the 2 popular questions. 1. No, I can't quit on the spot because I can't afford it. 2. Yes, I am looking for other jobs, actively applying. Update 2. The essay, which turned out to be 8 pages long, did not help me at all. If anything, it ignited a fire of retaliation on his end, which was my full intention. My boss, being the narcissist that he is, came to the conclusion that although I provided all the deliverables and met all the expectations we set out, I am just not living up to his standards, and he would like to conduct a performance review with me. He will also be having me do a performance improvement plan. I questioned him heavily in our last meeting about the necessity of a performance review if I am performing to the expectations set out. He tried to claim that there was something serious that needs to be addressed, and he needs HR and the executive director involved. He tried to say he was going to be giving me constructive criticism, but his constructive criticism consists of creating elaborate lies about my work ethic. He tries to cover up his mistakes, terrible memory, and lack of organization by blaming his staff. In my last performance review, he told HR and the ED that I never finish my work and that I make mistakes. That was the first time I had ever heard about that. Our project management system captures everything, and it shows that I am on track, no late tasks, and complete all work given to me. I will be quitting before he tries to conduct this performance review. I have been interviewing at other places with better pay and benefits. My entire organization is falling apart and 4 people have quit within a month. We are a staff of less than 40. I am jumping ship at the perfect moment. Edit. Thank you all for your support and suggestions. To answer the most popular questions. 1. I am going to quit on the spot within the next 2 weeks. I am not sticking around to be gaslighted any longer. 2. The essay was already written with the assistance of ChatGPT. 3. Yes, I've been applying and interviewing at other places. 4. HR, the executive director, and the CEO at my nonprofit organization do not care about their employees. They have a high turnover rate for a reason, and they retaliate against any staff that brings up concerns. They won't fire you, but they will make your life a living hell until you quit. Final edit. I hear some of your concerns about the hostile work environment and will be contacting the Department of Labor. I also wanted to address all the folks in the comments who are assuming that I am being irresponsible by quitting. I have other options lined up. I'm waiting for responses. I will not be staying at this job and waiting to get fired. I have been hospitalized from the stress that my work has been putting on my heart condition. This will not end well if I stay. I am in my mid-20s, an athlete, and hold a graduate degree. I shouldn't stay to prove a point. I should go where I'm valued. Update 3. To make it very clear, I am leaving this job soon, interviewing with a couple of different universities right now, and I work at a non-profit that is very disorganized. There is no way I am sticking around to get fired to prove a point. There is no severance pay in this org. I tried to take some of your comments and my family's advice by going to HR to bring up the issues that have been occurring with my boss in terms of him lying about my work ethic, micromanaging me, and alluding to firing me. HR did not care at all and tried to tell me that she cannot document my complaint, even though I have a paper trail because it is, he said, she said, and then there is the actual truth. Also, fun fact, she kept calling me by the wrong name and said, I don't even know what you do here. During my next meeting with my boss, I was brutally honest with him about his poor management style, obviously in a professional way. He tried to not make it obvious that HR came to him and told him everything because he said, concerned co-workers have come forward to tell me some things you have been saying. But none of my co-workers know the extent of the issues, and only HR knew the specific details he ended up bringing up. He gaslighted me the entire time saying, I never said this, you misinterpret me. And by the way, I document every single thing we talk about, so you must be confused. I shut him down with only facts and just stared at him while he tried to rewrite the reality of everything. He kept begging me to say anything that could make he could feel better, LOL. He ended the conversation by admitting that we are having a performance review and putting together a PIP not because of my actual performance, but because I misinterpret everything. I'm assuming he means the long minute-by-minute essay. I can promise you all, I do not misinterpret anything, especially with my message screenshots with him, the voice recordings I have taken of him, and our project management system exchanges. I do not care anymore. My ED does not care, and nor does my CEO. Our board of directors is basically non-existent, so there is no one else I can go to for help. All of the jobs I have been interviewing for are 15K, 20K differences in the pay I receive now, and the benefits are amazing. I will not fight to stay at a place that only gives 3 days of sick pay, 6 days of PTO, and 4 paid holidays off. I have learned from this experience that you should never, never, never back down from your truth, even if it means writing an 8-page overtly detailed essay about my work tasks to prove a point. Update 4. My toxic work environment has just worn me down. Any piece of solution or feedback I give to my organization always lands me in the conversation of, you can either be a team player, or you can transition to another job outside of our org, but please give us 6 months notice so we have enough time to find someone for your role. They really couldn't fire me because I was the only one running my program. They also can't afford unemployment. Well, I received a job offer yesterday, and I will be making 20K more a year than I currently make at my organization. My plan is to give a 1 day's notice after having my boss and the executive team tell me to basically quit and to give them a couple months notice. Yeah, I'm good. The icing on the cake is that 2 others in my team are putting their 2 weeks in at the end of next week, so my organization is really about to feel the wrath of the underpaid and overworked. Sometimes being professional doesn't matter to me when I know that they weren't professional at all in the first place. Edit. There are weirdly folks in the comments who think that I work in corporate or some technical industry. I currently work in non-profit, and I am transitioning back into higher education. I don't care about burning bridges with an organization that is notorious for high turnover and treats their employees like children. Everyone who has worked with me that isn't my manager or the executive team is willing to be my reference no matter what. Finally, I am not just walking out because although I hate my organization, I don't hate my actual job. I work with disadvantaged youth, and I want the opportunity to say goodbye to them because I know I won't have any way to do that once I leave. Update 5. I took a lot of your advice into consideration and did not even give a notice. I just sent an immediate resignation. I waited till my paperwork with HR was confirmed to be done at my new job before I walked out. I said goodbye to a handful of other coworkers and just went to go hang out with family. I have been taking a little vacation before I officially start on Monday. For all the people assuming I am a man, work at a Fortune 500 company or in corporate, I am a female and I was working in non-profit. A very toxic NPO as well. My former employer took a whole day to acknowledge my resignation and just said they were sad to see me go. But I know I caught them off guard. They are trying to keep it a secret at work, but people noticed my Slack account was disabled, so I have been getting messages and phone calls from coworkers. They were all proud of me and wished they could do the same. This caught everyone off guard. I was sitting in meetings that morning talking about the future because I wanted to make it less suspicious that I was leaving. To all the bootlickers on my last post who wished that my job offer fell through so I could learn a lesson or that I'm burning bridges, you are actually so vile. There is no bridge I need to run back to. These are two different industries. LOL, I worked in higher education for about 6 years before I made the transfer into nonprofit because I was passionate about the mission. I soon found out that my CEO and management cared more about themselves and the donors than the people we served. I waltzed back into higher education and was welcomed back with a bigger pay. I don't regret anything, and I feel so alive. As Karl Marx once said, "You have nothing to lose but your chains."